when my mom would come home with groceries. She's like, he's got home from baseball practice. He's tired. Just let my brothers fucking triple bag it. What? I used to just get home from school. And if I didn't have baseball practice, I'd wait till after baseball practice. But I would just strip down to my tidy whities and just fall asleep on the couch. But it was a white leather couch. So I just, like, an hour later, I just have to get up and peel myself off of it. Are we live? All right. What's up, dogs? Yo.
Oh, I didn't hear the intro. I had this whole thing.
No, we're live on YouTube. We gotta start the audio. Let's get some silence on the.
Right.
Hey, Bill. I get it. You're new, but pipe down.
Hats off to you, sir.
It's the Hats Off Gloves Off podcast with Mitchell Phillips and Spencer Calendar.
Hey, good morning, Vietnam. This is the Hats Off Gloves Off podcast. Oh, sorry, was I loud?
Oh, what's
man.
happening?
Oh my God, I woke him up.
Oh, what up, internet?
No.
I just woke up.
We broke into Spencer's house. We put a chair on him while he was sleeping. We did that classic camp prank where you put their mattress on the lake.
Oh, I wish I went to camp. I missed. Did you go to summer camp?
No, I went to 6th grade camp where we went with our class for like a week.
I did that to Rawhide Ranch. That was
whoa,
amazing
Rawhide
time.
Ranch.
Yeah, it was called Rawhide Ranch.
That's gross, dude. We went to Cambria Pines.
We took care of goats.
forest.
It was all, we rode horses. We did I remember I was in a contest. We were doing gymnastics on a horse. Sounds really gay, but you would go on a horse and then
dressage.
I would get on one knee and point my leg out. I don't know. It was a great time. I wish I went to summer camp. Totally could have sucked on some titties.
Dude, summer
or
camp
something.
kids sucked.
Did
and
they?
only because I'm super jealous of them.
Yeah, I'm incredible. My cousin went, and there's a place called Indian Village in Big Bear, and all the kids sleep in teepees, and they culturally appropriate all kinds of stuff.
In 5th grade, my friend had
My sister went to summer
camp friends.
Yeah.
They came to town to stay with him over the summer. He's like, oh, these are my friends from camp. And I was like, oh, you have camp friends? It's I bet you did your first finger blast in there.
I remember in 8th grade, this one girl, Stacy Uden. What up, Stacy?
What up, Stace?
She wasn't popular at all, and then she came back from summer camp and was bragging about how one of the counselors sucked on her tits, and she became in the popular crowd real quick.
It was so funny. We went to Camp Keep. That's what they called it, up in Cambria Pines. Super dope place. Have you been to Cambria?
No.
It's like that Central California,
good wine.
The forest on the beach type shit. It's fucking wonderful. My uncle got married there a couple years ago, but I forgot what I was getting at. Camp, sucking on titties. Oh, that's it. The counselors. When we got back, I was like, these are just adults. These are the guys in charge of us. Listen to them. You know what I mean? Let's get a little rowdy. I'm not gonna shut up at lights out. But we're at camp. But then we get back and these guys are high school seniors. And I was like, bro, I could have just told you to fuck off this whole time.
Yeah, and you get to hook up with the working there. I worked at a summer camp and it was really fun. Anyway, cool vibe. Seems more like an East Coast thing.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, my friend that had camp friends, they go to camp in Colorado. I'm like, was it millions of dollars?
Yeah, I'm really jealous. I want to do the summer camp thing. And I think I'm too old to work at a summer camp now. I miss my window. But sounds amazing. But it sounds awesome. Just get to canoe.
If I worked at a summer camp now, I would only be embarrassed that the other people I worked with are all 20.
Yeah, it'd be embarrassing, but I mean...
Also, all the counselors are 17 to 20 years old. They're all sucking and fucking as soon as they put you to bed.
Meals included. I don't know. I'm quitting this LA game, and I'm going to work at a summer camp. But until then, we got hats off, gloves off.
Hey! So this is what we do. This is hats off, gloves off. Hats off to those that deserve it. Gloves off to those who deserve it. Ding, ding. We got props, ladies and gentlemen. Video Elements stepping up. We got a hat in the mail. I bought a top hat on eBay as a set piece, and it said there was an exchange rate. It said CAN, which I assumed it was coming from Canada, which is I'm fine with that. Turns out it's China, because it was Yanwen Jingdao Distribution Center.
It's a beautiful province.
So that's on a... hopefully by now it's on some freighter crossing the Pacific, coming into the port of Long Beach. Maybe you can if you're going down to Long Beach soon, maybe you can crack open some of those.
Yeah, I'll check it out on my way to my mother's.
Just if you stumble across any cases full of future nail salon workers,
I
just
do hang
look
out.
the other way.
I hang out at the dock a lot because if action movies have taught me anything, there will be some very nice cars speeding through.
Something's gonna blow up.
Things go down.
And that's something that would get a hats off. A cool car chase with explosions. Speaking of, that's Transporter 2. I don't know if the stream was going yet. We talked to Jason Statham. Transporter 2, there's a cool, he does a kickflip with a car. They put a bomb on the underbelly of his car. So he goes off of a ramp and uses the crane to knock, they'll use the hook on the crane to knock the bomb off his car. And he does a full rotation like a kickflip and keeps driving.
Whew.
Yeah.
You're a bad boy.
What a high-octane thrill ride that movie was. But we also do Gloves Off for the kind of people that put the bombs on Jason Statham's car. So the good and the bad, we point them out. Sometimes you do a bad thing, you be a good boy. Sometimes you be a good boy and you get a gloves off because no one likes a nerd. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, you're technically doing the right thing by reminding the teacher that there's homework, but you're a bad guy.
Yeah, it needs to go through our filtration process, and what we say is correct. No, we've never been wrong on the show yet.
You're not just going to drink out of the faucet, are you? No, you're going to run it through your Brita filter. Hogo is your Brita filter. We're a Brita pitcher.
Just listen to us, kids, and you'll be on the right track because we are successful business entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And not anyone can just start a podcast. How do you think we got here? We're on the internet. We're coming straight to your house. No, every idiot with the fucking camera can't just do this.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got to step up. We got a full studio here. We got 9 interns standing around doing God knows what. We got 2 camera angles.
We have a donkey in the other room.
First of all, his name's Herb, and you're going to show respect.
Herb.
So I'm going to start off with a nice hats off.
Not one of those naughty
Hats
ones.
off to you, sir.
Not to be confused with a bad hats off. En hyggelig hatter off. I think that's a nice hats off in Norwegian. This podcast is brought to you by Duolingo. Use promo code HOGOPOD and get free.
We get it. You're learning Norwegian. Don't make us feel so dumb all the time.
Oh man,
I know cheap Chinese.
I was thinking how it's not. I wanted to start this story, but not. I was thinking. I was just laughing to myself the other day, sitting on my couch, just pretending Chinese, just like getting off the plane in China and just.
No, but you know,
fake it till you make it. Just ching chong ching chow.
No, but you know, cheap Chinese. It's kind of like Pig Latin. My the lady who cut my hair at Fantastic Sam's taught me at one time. And you take
where else are you gonna learn it?
Every consonant you add ong to, and then every vowel you say how it is. So your name Mitchell would be nong I tong kong hongy long long. Like I'm gonna say fuck you right now. Fong you kong kong yang o you.
Okay.
So there's an actual method.
Sounds
to
almost
it.
more Filipino.
But it's cheap Chinese. Because
Filipino.
cheap Filipinese doesn't sound cool. Cheap Chinese. The alliteration on that's perfect.
And Chinese stuff is cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Go
Amazon
to Ornamental Trading Company. You'll see what's
But we're not talking about China. We're talking about the land of pork scratchings. That's right, England. This is coming straight
pork
from...
scratching. What's that, a pork rind?
I'm assuming.
Pork rinds
That's
are
just
good.
what they call
I
them.
really do like a pork rind.
In the right setting, I love a nice pork rind. Like a chicharrones.
That's it.
My guy. Oh,
Chicharrones taco
get out of town.
Can be the best or worst. Sometimes it's just this gooey, fatty mess. It's pig skin, so it can go either way. But
sometimes they're great. They can be like pork belly, but they can also be like just rocks.
Or it could just be this gooey. Ew. But I like pork rinds in a bag, a little hot sauce.
So now I take you to the that's Irish.
What's going on?
What's
in
a
the
British
UK?
accent? I'm still just doing Irish. Oh, come on down to Britain. Come on to Britain. That's Jamaican. So this is from Yorkshire Live. I don't know where this story takes place. I'm assuming somewhere near. Oh, right here. Morrison's is a grocery store at 5 Lane Ends in Bradford. Also, that's just a nice like highlight of this story. Not a highlight. A kicker. You know what I mean? That like English stuff is just so silly.
Yeah, they call chips crisps.
This store is at 5 Lane Ends.
Oh, geez.
You know what I mean? Everything's like Brantford, Worcestershire.
They use kilometers over there.
They say they do, but they still. I watch Luther. They still say miles. So anyway, there's a group of teenagers out in front of Morrison's.
Loitering?
They loitering, but for a cause. Like the Salvation Army guy's technically loitering. Like, quit bugging me, dude. I paid with card. What is this, 1987? I don't have fucking coins on me.
Sure.
I literally have $1.25 in quarters in my car in case I go to Pasadena where their meters don't take cards.
You know what's the new move that is annoying homeless people do? That every time I'm in a drive-through now, someone comes and knocks on my window and asks for money. It's like, dog, I'm getting harassed, but you stay at 7-Eleven.
Remember that Taco Bell we went to with Keenan?
No.
Past guest of the show,
Sure,
friend of the
I
show.
remember, yeah.
Keenan Lewis, whatever he's going by now. But because they have the trash can, like the funneled trash can when you leave the drive-through, and the guy was just standing next to the trash can. I was like, I have to throw shit out. But it's like I get
that happens to me a lot.
I feel
too,
bad,
where
like-
there's a lady digging through the trash getting bottles, and I have trash to throw away.
Yeah.
And it's like, am I really waiting for you? I've started just throwing it in because, and then I'll be like, I got a bottle in there. Like
yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
Hey,
homeless
my man.
people, they're out of control.
So there's a group of teenagers in front of the grocery store, loitering technically, and they're offering people free hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah, I love this one. I love this one.
Takes me back.
I know what's up.
So
Yeah. Classic.
So apparently they got a bunch of people with it, but then the lady that reported them, she said she was walking into the grocery store and this kid offered her hand sanitizer, and she looked behind him and all his friends were like smirking, and then he goes to spray it on her hands, and one of them busts out laughing. So she like recoiled her hands. She's like, "Wait, what's going on?" He goes, "It's hand sanitizer," and but can't keep a straight
Yeah, and
face.
his buddy keeps laughing.
Yeah. So it turns out it was super glue.
You just got pranked.
Yeah, welcome to Punked. Could you imagine if you're going to the store and like, hey, free hand sanitizer, and you just glue your hands together like the kid from Little Giants?
Because I do think it's hilarious, but if it happened to me, I would be fucking pissed.
oh, dude, I'd be
Because even just like
you
the
doing that
times
move where
get,
you like you're doing like Viking hits, like on the top of people's heads.
I'd be bonking them. Even like when you
But that's it. You're bonking them.
when you use you have to. That's the bonk position.
Oh, that's
just getting a little crazy glue on your fingers drives you crazy.
Oh, dude, I hate. Cause I'll just be like gluing something. I'm like, how? Like I've literally been like, I've worked in the trades my whole adult life.
He's a traitor.
How do I still? I'm Benedict fucking Arnold. How do I still end up with super glue on my goddamn hands? And you don't feel it unless you're like doing the dishes and you're like, oh yeah,
It's all grainy. Yeah,
that's like weird.
Oh, I'd be so pissed. But I love that these kids are pranking.
Yeah,
There's a woman who did a similar thing. I wish you could still find these videos. They've been deleted because she got arrested for this. But she goes by Whitney, Wisconsin. She's out of her fucking mind. And she did like a lot of like, and this is another thing for you cam girls out there and all you chicks trying to make money so you can smoke weed in your apartment and finger bang yourself.
and contribute nothing.
Contribute nothing. Get creative like Whitney, Wisconsin. She got persecuted for it, but what she did is she would do a lot of like, finger banging videos and stuff. She's not attractive at all, but she knew that, so she did crazy shit. She went to a Walmart and started shoving cucumbers up her pussy and then putting them back on the shelf. And then what she also did is she liked doing pranks with her pussy. She shoved her fingers up her pussy and got it all milky and creamy. And then she went up to people in the Walmart. Frothy went up to people in the Walmart and said, "This is a new perfume we're trying. Would you like to try
Ugh.
it?" And she filmed it and she got arrested for it.
I've pulled that. You're like, hey, look, to your buddy, like, shoved to baseball practice. Hey, my hand smells like roses. And they're like, what? And you're like, come on. Even though it's like, I don't even know what pussy smells like yet. The girls don't have stinky vaginas at that age.
Yeah, when I was a kid, my friend's older brother brought me into his room and was like, "Check this out. Check it out." Crystal was just over, and there was like a little wet spot on the bed.
Uh-huh.
And he was trying to brag to me, and I'm just like, "Cool." So she like spilled water.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, she left this for me," but I had no idea that vaginas got wet or any of that. This guy was only a year older than me, but he was just one of he was
hell
one of
yeah.
those dudes who was just way ahead of his
Those
time.
dudes ruled.
And he was my best friend's older brother. He's dead now.
That was
But,
reminds me of the Roy Scovel joke. He's like, yeah, we shouldn't have kids, we should stop kids from smoking weed. Like, don't you guys all remember that kid that was just killing it way too early? Because everybody knows that kid that was like in their grade but behaved like a 20-year-old. You're like, you can't talk to adults like that.
Yeah, just got in fights all the time and just got laid a lot. He was a bad boy.
I remember,
R.I.P.
First time I
love
finger
you, Casey.
blasted, first time I touched a vagina. Shout out Savannah, what up? You know who you are. T-Town Strong. I finger blast her, and I don't know. To this day, most of the time, I still don't know
tricky.
when to stop. Like, did I do it good? Or,
Yeah, there is that moment where it's
but I was just doing it like
they grab your
I was
hand
just-
and move it away. Like, all right, this is complete.
Bro, just finger blasting somebody like this.
That's my technique.
Yo,
it works.
That's one for the live stream, you audio listeners. Hit us up on YouTube at Hats Off Gloves Off podcast.
So I bet these super glue and pranksters.
So the lady, she's like, "What's in it?" He goes, "It's sanitizer," while laughing, and then she goes, "What is it?" And then the kid was still like, "It's hand sanitizer." But one of the kids behind him was like, "It's fucking super glue, you bat."
Yeah, don't mess up. That's how you get caught and you get articles written about yourself.
So she said, then I just walked away laughing. Boys will be boys. I'll pass. Thanks, is what she said. And she said she was relieved to avoid the trap, adding, "I'd have been in Bradford Royal Infirmary all night." Bro, just call it. They won't even call it the hospital. They have to say hospital.
Which I like, actually.
Go fuck yourself, dude. I
like
get it,
that.
but it makes sense. But it's like, I'm going to house. It's like, no, I'm going to my house. I'm going
Well,
to the
it was
house.
like that hilarious joke in Arrested Development. One of the characters kept saying, "I'm in Army. I'm going to Army," instead of saying the Army, and it just made it so funny. Look at Banner, Michael.
Australia does that too. I went last time I was there. Like there's an adjustment period because like they don't say rent. You hire things. Like you can rent a DVD, but if you're renting a car, they say you hire a car.
Oh, okay.
But my stepdad or my real dad, he's like, yeah, we're gonna go down there and hire a car. And I was like, fucking Daddy Warbucks. We're gonna have a driver. This is great. He's gonna have one of those little windows. But yeah, Royal Bradford or Bradford Royal Infirmary. Just call it the Sicky House. That's why I love Norwegian. You know, you say hospital.
Somebody's learning Norwegian right
Sick
now.
house.
And he's not even going to go to Norway.
Sikkahus. Yeah, I know. I've been learning Norwegian for a goddamn year so I can go to Alaska probably with Spencer.
Dude, it's going to be sick.
So that's it.
All right.
Shout out to these kids for keeping it around. This is the first, like, it is COVID related because why else would they be giving out hand sanitizer? It would have been really suspicious 2 years ago. They're just kids giving out hand sanitizer. But yeah, I like that these boys aren't just sitting on their ass playing PlayStation. You know what I mean? I got a 14-year-old brother and he doesn't get off fucking Call of Duty. So I'm glad to see these kids taking the initiative. Someone found, a giant thing of super glue.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's
They just sat there for like hours emptying the single-use tubes into
we
this
did
hand
that.
sanitizer
Like,
bottle.
we found like an old-fashioned fire extinguisher in our friend's garage. It was his dad's, and forever we were just trying to figure out what we could do with it, and we figured out that you could refill it at the gas station and then put whatever you wanted in there. So we filled it with like mustard and all this bullshit, and we would spray it at people. Man, we could do a whole show on just pranks we used to do. Man, we went way too far in high school. Some of the shit we did, I don't even want to get into it because you'll think I'm a horrible person.
The first story I just thought of was something that I could probably still be arrested for.
I have so many. We made a crew. We called ourselves like the Demons of the Night or something, and then our friend translated it into German. Like we had like a crew name and everything. But yeah, we went way too far. Pranks are the greatest.
We did pranks, and then one time my mom didn't let me go hang out with the kids, and then they all went to the park out in Bear Valley, and they fucked up all the they like fucked up the bathrooms and like tore down the security cameras and like they did legit vandalism, like shit that's not even fun. It's like what AJ did in The Sopranos, where they just started like throwing shit in the pool, and then they just wrecked the trophy case. Where I was like, now you're just being a fucking asshole. Like, but yeah, I was like, well, thank God my mom didn't let me hang out with you. Like, she was right, you goddamn hoodlums.
Yeah, you're monsters. Well, I got a heavy gloves off, ripped from the real life, and I'm calling you out, Los Angeles, and all you fucking monsters who live here. Everyone talks about how LA is a shithole. They are correct. It is a shithole because nobody cares. Nobody respects the city. No one's from here. They got no pride. They come from fucking...
The capital of littering.
They come from Ohio, and do they start rooting, and then they rep their stupid teams and then pretend to be Dodger fans? Don't get me started. These people are monsters. Basically, someone in my neighborhood on the street where I park my car, they moved out of their apartment, and instead of moving any of their stuff or throwing everything away, they just left an entire pile, a home's worth of stuff in the street.
They just left it?
Not on the sidewalk, in the curb where our cars parked. So they took up 2 parking spots. I'm talking beds, desks, and not even like...
Like reasonable shit? Like,
no. I do that all the time where I have like a dresser I'm getting rid of.
But it's still functional.
And I just put it on the curb, and it's gone within 20 minutes. It's a single dresser. But this person put shit that was all broken down, a busted-up bed, and this pile just kept growing and growing, and it started getting into the street. And the one thing about LA monsters is once they see a pile, people start adding shit to the pile.
Yeah.
So where it was
Well,
just,
this is where we put our trash.
it was like a desk and a toaster, and then more trash came, and it spread out. People start sifting through it, and it's gone now. But there was a good 2 weeks where someone just left their pile of their entire apartment right in the street, and it was like 20 feet away from our trash cans too. Like if I was going to pull that dick move, which I would never do, I would put it near the garbage, being like, "Oh, the garbage guy will get
Yeah.
it." Blah blah blah. But I don't know. What do
Yeah.
you do?
No,
There's no hope.
No, there's nothing. It's like you said. Nobody's from here, so nobody gives a fuck about this place. Like I've seen people litter at least once a day the entire time I've lived in LA.
Dude, last night I was walking and a homeless person was dragging their rolly suitcase, and
you
then they stopped, took 2 bags out of it, and just left the suitcase there. And then it was trash day, so I grabbed the suitcase and I put it where the trash was, and then the homeless guy yelled at me saying that was my stuff. And I'm like, "You left a suitcase." Of course, how am I going to have this argument with a crazy person? But he left the suitcase in the middle of the sidewalk. I moved it out of the way so it wouldn't bother people, and then he yelled at me. But I mean, okay, there's an episode of Sopranos where they figure out what asbestos is, and no one will take it, and they don't know how to get rid of it. So there's this beautiful scene where it's just a dump truck dumps all the asbestos into a nature preserve.
Yeah.
But this is
they're
a
in waste
fictional
management.
TV show filled with murdering sociopaths. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Imagine moving out of your apartment and you take everything you have and just leave it on, not even leave it on the fucking sidewalk.
No, I was saying that to my girlfriend. Sopranos is such a funny show because these guys are constantly like they murdering people and like they're their entire are you an earner is basically do you extort people for protection money? Like they're such reprehensible people like morally. But they justify it. They're like, when we came to this country, we didn't have nothing and we didn't want to play the yada
Yeah,
yada.
no one would give us money. Yeah,
But then when like Ralph beats up that pregnant stripper,
he slipped.
he slipped. Hey, she fell, and she comes out, and she's just her head split open. It's like, all right, come on, buddy. No, but it's like when guys like cheat on their girlfriends. I'm like, hey, come on, man. Like, go ahead and murder. But for some reason, I do have like an attachment to like, come on, like she's been nice to you this whole time.
Yeah, and the solution in LA, we're fucked because one thing, okay, littering is insane in LA. Everyone litters. Everywhere I go, people throw bags out of the car. No one gives a fuck. And then I'm always like, well, we need more trash cans in this city because let's say I have a cigarette butt, I don't litter my cigarette butts. I hold on to it till I find a trash can. I can never find a trash can. But then when I do see trash cans in LA, they're melted and burned. So the city will give us a trash can, and then the insane people light it on fire and burn it down.
Well, so the only public trash cans are by bus stops. It's because they tried other ones. Like I've been here like 5 years ago. I remember those plastic trash cans with like the lids on them. They put those all over the place.
Yeah, and they get burned down.
Yeah, and they just got fucked up or like thrown in the street. So yeah, there's only trash cans at bus stops because they bolt those ones down. They're just made out of like what's it called? Like expanded steel, like sheet metal.
Yeah, so I don't really know what the solution is because nobody gives a fuck. I think leaving is the solution. But yeah, everyone bashes on LA, but no one takes care of LA. So it's like beating your wife and not understanding why she doesn't make you breakfast all the time. Like
There's also-
she's always mad at me.
There's something special about Hollywood too, where it's people are getting off the bus from like Nebraska with like their guitar, like I'm gonna make it, and then they show up in Hollywood and they're like, oh, this place is a shithole. The acclimation, I've seen it a dozen times. People
The
acclimate.
culture shock is nuts.
Well, you get your people that are like completely perturbed by the atmosphere, like their expectations are completely shattered in terms of like how awful. Like Hollywood's a shitty place. Like you talk to like my dad, and he's like, no, Hollywood is like if you want to get heroin, then you go to Hollywood. It's not like, oh, I want to go see a red carpet. But yeah, how quickly people acclimate to just being a piece of shit. They're like, no, that's just how we do things here. And it's like, bro, you're from Ohio. Fucking pick up your trash.
Yeah, do what you did in Ohio. Or yeah, people always complain about how LA drivers are the worst, and it's like, no, you fucking dummy. No one who's driving on the freeway is from LA.
Yeah.
It's people from around the world. Some moron in Florida.
Bro,
got
I haven't
his
been on the
license.
405 in 2 years because I know how to get around it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is an international city. So we have some guy who learned how to drive in Vietnam. Now he's on the 101. We have a chick who learned how to drive in Mexico. Now she's on the 101. We have people from all over the world with all different driving techniques.
And I got to figure out what country it is that makes people get on the freeway slow.
Oh, that's nuts. It's
There's
insane.
nothing more infuriating than me letting you in, and you I'm like, bro, you're like going 45 on the freeway when like I get it, there's traffic, but we're still going like 60.
It's always minivans. Whenever I'm in the far left lane
That's it, yeah.
and I'm going 80 and then I have to stop, it's always someone in a minivan.
Dude, what the worst is when they get all the way to the left lane.
That's what I mean.
They leave you-
They're always in the far left lane, which is the speed lane. Like I used to get in a fight with my ex-girlfriend all the time because we'd be on the highway on road trips and a car she'd be going like 85. She's going fast. And a car would be behind her and she'd be like, why is this? I'm like, you should get over. You got to get
passing
over.
lane.
And she's like, no, I'm going over the speed limit. I'm like, this guy could be going 300 miles an hour. The far left lane is whoever's going the fastest.
I try not to even be in that
That's
lane
the
unless I'm
rule.
passing somebody
Yeah.
or multiple people. You know what I mean? I even feel bad when it's like, all right, I got to get around these like 6 cars, and it does take like a mile. But I'm not going to go 90, but I'm going to go, maybe 80.
But yeah,
I'm not in a fucking hurry, but it's like I feel bad about the guy behind me who's trying to do 95.
go to the DMV in Los Angeles and tell me about all these horrible California drivers.
Yeah, all these people
no
from
one's even
California.
speaking English in the DMV. I have heard
Not
more
even the
languages.
employees.
No, I've heard more languages in the DMV than I have anywhere else in the world. It's obscene. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Oh well.
And then we can't. So yeah, there are no problems, like solutions to the problem. It's like cool. How about we just have really good public transportation instead? Oh, we did, but we ripped all those up so we could sell more gasoline and tires.
Yeah.
Littering's a problem in LA. Oh, let's put trash cans out. Oh no, crazy people light them on fire. So
Dude, when the COVID
eat
first
your
started,
trash. Swallow your own
Eat your-
trash. Eat your trash.
everything needs to be biodegradable. When COVID first started, they went around and put porta potties under all the underpasses with homeless people.
Of course.
And
And,
the one-
and sinks. And sinks.
Yeah, the little like pump sinks. And within like 2 days, the one by my house was like flipped over and half melted. I was like, I get you're crazy. You know what I mean?
But that's
But
not
like, where'd you get spray paint?
that's not even a crazy thing. That happened in high school all the time where none of our bathroom stalls had doors on them. And then our soap dispenser would get kicked, get punched off the wall. And so then our high school put this cage around it, and then someone lit it on fire. And it's like, I'm all about fucking up the high school, but you do want to wash your hands. And
Yeah, exactly.
When you do,
That's a
take
great way
a
to put it.
dump, you would like a door, right?
So
So maybe we should, like,
you go to the beach, you go to Manhattan Beach, and they just have like 4 toilets in a row. You could tell there used to be stalls there, but it's just been beat to shit.
yeah, let's fuck some shit up. Let's like rip up some plans or steal all the tests from the teacher, but we're
Yeah.
only hurting ourselves here because the day will come where you have to take a fat shit and
I also hated when because my friend group was the first to blame. So these kids went around, they put super glue in a bunch of the locks.
classic move.
Classic move, but they came to me first, and it's like now I'm having to defend myself. It's like, hey, innocent until proven guilty, dude. Like, do you have me on footage or something? Like, I don't. To go back, I use the super glue defense. Nobody has ever used super glue without getting at least a little bit on their fingers. I'll allow you to examine my hands.
Yeah, we know. So yeah, let's clean up this city. I'm moving. I'm going to. I'm going to Puerto Rico.
That's America.
Yep.
You don't even need a visa, bro. Go to
Nope.
Puerto
That's
Rico.
where I'm going, baby.
We had a homeless guy. He was living under my kitchen window for like a month, and the cops showed up. They're like, "Well, was he violent?" And they're like, "He was threatening violence." They're like, "Well, until he gets violent, we can't do anything." I was like, "Okay, so he has to commit a crime." It's like we can arrest people for weed because you know what I mean, because it's a drug, and if people do drugs, they might break laws. You know what I mean? It was like there's already laws on the books. So if somebody's able to do drugs and not break laws, so in that case, you're able to prevent crime. But if there's a homeless guy knocking on my fucking kitchen window, I can't do shit until he physically attacks me.
Yeah, that's why that one kid got in trouble because he got his laptop stolen, and this has happened to him before, and the cops didn't do shit. So he said, "I got my laptop stolen. This guy has a gun," and they ended up killing the guy. He didn't have a gun. He got in a lot of trouble, but that's the point. You have to say, if you need something to get taken care of, you have to say this person has a gun,
Yeah.
or they will not come.
Yeah, he tried to fight my the apartment manager, not the landlord, but the guy who manages the units.
He deserved it.
No, but the cops came back and like, well, there's no private property signs, no trespassing signs. So they had to go put them all up, and they're like, all right, this guy's back tomorrow with the signs up. It's like, okay, now there's no trespassing signs. Well, the cops can show up and ask him to leave, but they can't like forcibly do anything. So it's like, what's the point? You know? Scumbags. Anyway, he ended up actually attacking somebody, and the cops were able to take him away, which is also, again, you're like, what, he's going to do a week or so downtown, and then he's going to be back out bothering somebody else? It's going to take him a month to get back to my place. They let him out of the crazy house. He takes the red line to Children's Hospital, and then bothers everybody trying to go up to the Getty or the Griffith. I don't know. This whole fucking state is falling apart.
And it's all because we have the best weather. That's all it comes down to.
Isn't that crazy?
It's all it comes down to.
I forget who said it though, but like everything amazing about California was given by God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
you think of the natural resources.
No one's
like
here for the
just driving from San Diego all the way to San Francisco, what you get to see, the amazing shit. But also California knows it, so they charge us an insane amount of money for it. Like California is the hot chick who gets to treat people like shit.
Yeah.
Because everyone will still want to suck their dick and see their titties.
Also,
so they get to do whatever they want. That's why people are always like, man, can you believe it? I went back to my home in Minnesota and gas was only $1.89.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no shit. Of course our gas is $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
Because it's like buying beer at a baseball game. They get to do it. They get to charge a lot of airports.
Yeah, it's fucking frustrating. But also for every single like Big Sur, there's a Fontana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like that would suck to be you live in California but you live in Fontana. Like you're paying the same income tax
The
as
tax
me.
part, yeah.
and, you have to live in Fontucky.
Because yeah, at least where it's like, I don't know, like when I lived my apartment before I left Long Beach, I lived on the 7th story on a cliff overlooking the ocean, and it's like this is a California perk.
This is great.
I understand, but yeah, you're living in
I am-
Bakersfield. It's like
being an hour tops from like Neptune's Net. You know what I mean? I can go sit there where Vin Diesel sat and look over the ocean and have some
he
fucking
sat
cod.
there, have some fried shrimp.
Yeah, get the appetizer sampler. Some fucking hush puppies in my belly and looking over the like cliffs over the ocean. It's fucking amazing. But then you're also like, but I still like.
I've never eaten there. I gotta go.
My neighborhood might as well be like in Missouri, the cool neighborhood in Missouri. You know what I mean? Where it's like I still just have a 7-Eleven in a park. You know what I mean? There's nothing like extraordinary about it other than it being fucking 90 degrees in January.
Yeah, that's a huge perk. That's
not
the
even a
number one
perk.
move
I like a winter.
on social media is people who are not from here. They always will like post a photo of the weather and then post a photo of the weather of wherever they're from. You know, and it's like cool. Now you get to stick it to the people. I do love living in a place that has.
Wow, you
4
really
seasons.
showed your parents.
You really appreciate the summer. Like there really is like there's winter and the spring comes and you notice people come out into the streets. It is like this magical thing where it's dark for a while.
Yeah.
Fall is beautiful, then it's dark and snowy, and then spring comes out and you just see people walking around like, oh, I get to wear a T-shirt today.
Yeah.
But I do more with my summer because in the summer in LA, it's like we got to go to the beach. It's like,
I've never been
I
a
can
beach guy.
always go.
Never
I'm a
been a beach guy.
big beach guy, but I'm losing it because I don't live near the beach because I ain't going to fucking Venice. All that shit's a pain in the ass. When I go to the beach, yeah, got to go down to.
Well, you're going Orange County versus
I go Orange County or Palos
LA
Verde.
County beaches.
LA County beaches suck. The waves suck. Big shout out to Jared. He shreds all those beaches.
All right, yeah. So if you're not from here, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Stop
and stop littering.
Stop blaming all your problems on us. We're good guys. We don't litter.
Yeah, we don't litter. You get to smoke weed here all you want.
Locals only, brother. All right. You know what? I'm gonna go to. Should I do? I think I only have. Should I do hats off or gloves off?
You know, I'm thinking hats off.
Hats off to you, sir.
So, this is a fun one out of the great state of FLA. Hopefully, future hosts of the Olympics. If Japan turns it down, fingers crossed. Fucking, we go to Florida. Alachua County, Florida. So a man is facing charges after he admitted to stealing a company's tow truck as a revenge for the time they towed his car.
Hey,
So
eye
he's-
for an eye, baby.
Which I've been where this guy's at. You know what I mean? So off that first sentence, I'm like, been there. I
well,
could
the
see.
tow truck thing is infuriating. A comic just told me that he had to pay $300 just for them to take his car off of the tow truck. So they hadn't even towed it yet. They put it on the truck and they charged him $268 just to get it off of the truck.
Yeah.
That's California knowing they're the hot chick and just
Honestly,
fucking you.
I don't mind. Like, it sucks. Like, I have not AAA, but whatever my insurance company's equivalent is. It's like it's got all the same perks. I just can't do my registration there. But yeah, it's goddamn frustrating. Like when your car gets towed by the city, because like if I get it towed, it's gonna be like $100. If like I actually break down somewhere, you know what I mean, or whatever. But something happens, I need to get towed. It's not that bad. But if the city tows your car, you are absolutely fucked.
They charge you by the day.
They use 1 yard downtown, and those people, they just deal with cocksuckers all day long.
Angry people. Everyone is angry.
Yeah, so you even go there with a nice attitude, and you end up leaving pissed off.
Yeah, I got my car towed. My car was totaled, so my car was totaled. They towed it, and they kept harassing me to get the car out. I'm like, bro, the car's done for.
Yeah, what are you
And
gonna
they're like, You owe us $5,000. I'm like, I don't owe you shit because I don't need the car, but I wanted to get my stuff out of the car, and they wouldn't let me. And I happened to have a friend who also got towed like a week later, and I had him sneak into my car, grab all my shit out of it, and I was set up. Yeah, another fellow comic friend just got arrested because he got his car towed, and then he yelled at the lady who, you know, those annoying neighbors. Well, I guess it's L.A., so everyone parks their car forever. But
Yeah.
a lady was like, "You got to move your car, and then he went out of town, and she called and had it towed, and he came back and threatened her, and then she filmed it, and they got arrested for extortion.
Extortion.
Well, he was saying like, "Give me, you got to pay for my tow, you fucking bitch."
Oh, you fucking bitch. I despise people, dude. It's just the worst. So this guy, the federal troopers, or Florida troopers, got a tip that someone spotted this stolen tow truck. So they pull the guy over, and on him he had meth, Xanax, and hydrocodone, which is Vicodin. So this guy's on uppers and downers.
Busted.
Meth and Xanax,
It's a
bro.
nice combo.
If you take meth and then Xanax, why not just take nothing? You just leveled yourself
Yeah.
out, bud.
It's a good feeling, though, I'm sure.
Oh, it's got to be great. But also, this guy stole a tow truck. Like, it's one thing. Like, the worst situation ever is like driving your friend's car, and then there's like something illegal in it. You know what I mean? Where that is.
It happens on cops all the
I
time.
have.
This isn't my car.
Yeah, this is my mom's car.
Is there drugs in the car? I have no idea what's in this car.
Yeah.
No idea.
Well, that's when I do litter. Is probably the last time was there was empty cans. I go to scoot the seat back and I hear the jingling of cans clanking. So I just tossed them out the window. I was like, I'm not. If I do get pulled over in this dude's fucking Hyundai Sonata, and there's open empty containers, I'm not taking that. So I'm like, I'll gladly take that litter. But that's just my paranoia. I didn't get pulled over. But that's the worst. Step down from that is like you get pulled over and you had weed in your car or whatever back in the day. But then why would you take your things and you stole a tow truck? Like, you're that much easier to find.
Yeah. it's
They're
a
gonna get
noticeable-
you.
Yeah.
They're gonna get you, dude.
Well, I think the meth maybe,
I want to get you.
messed up his, his
He was not in a clear state
thinking
of mind.
skills.
Why'd you bring your bag with you? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Do you need all three of them? Can't you just take enough meth bumps
Unless
for
he
the
was
road?
transporting them. Yeah, bring a little small amount.
He had so
stash
much
'em.
meth he needed a tow truck.
Yeah.
Bro, you just went from like having a little bit of meth. Like, it's not illegal to be on meth. You just can't have it. Like, hurry up and smoke it before they get there.
Yeah, you could be like, yeah, I just ingested a whole bunch of meth.
They can't do anything. It's not illegal to be high. It's illegal to possess it.
That's how my friend
But meth, Xanax, and hydrocodone, bro, that's federal charges.
I love the idea of like you were saying, you threw out like you can get in trouble for having empty beer cans in your car, but like
Yeah.
the whole DUI thing is relatively new. Like you hear stories from our parents' generation.
Oh, yeah.
Like my grandpa told me when he would drink, he sold his car. He had a stick. He sold his car because he spilled too much beer when he was
Yeah.
shifting, he said. And he would literally just drink beer and throw it in the backseat of his car. And he told me one time he got pulled over and he just had this mountain of beer cans. And the cop was like, you got to prove to me you weren't drinking those. So he just dug to the bottom and found
Yeah.
like a dry can, and he got away with it. And it's like, yeah, that was in like 1980 something.
Yeah.
And
Oh, here's how you get out of a DUI: just burp in the cop's face.
yeah,
I guess that's not how it's. You're no longer a white guy in the 70s, Peepaw.
God, I wish. Yeah, so this guy got popped. Fucking DUI. Yeah, he's under the
Oh
influence.
yeah. I think if alcohol counts, meth definitely counts.
You think he was?
Although it is
towing-
Florida,
You
so
think he was towing people's cars?
that would be. I didn't. There's
Because
no
if I'm driving
no
around
stolen
a tow
valor.
truck, I would want to do some towing.
Yeah.
You know, it is the namesake of the vehicle.
It is weird though that he just got Grand Theft Auto, which you would think that it'd be a higher charge. You know what I mean? You're not just stealing someone's Camry, bro. You stole a tow truck. It's like Grand Theft Auto, the game when you you didn't just kill a cop, you shot a cop with a tank. But yeah, that's it. That's the whole story. This dude was pissed off that these people towed his car. So sometime, doesn't say how much time passed, but yeah, he saw the tow truck from the same company. He said, "That will be mine."
All
One
right.
day, yes, it will be mine.
Well, I'm staying negative. I'm gonna keep the gloves off going.
Okay.
Glove on. Glove off.
Oh shit! Prop work.
Well, there's this new bill being proposed, and it's supposed to combat slavery in the industry. And Nike, Coca-Cola, and Apple are fighting against this bill because it's crazy how companies do this. Because in their statement they said, while we do not condone slavery, we also condone slavery to slaves.
Yeah, it's a
because
weird backpedal
We
for them.
want them. It's a very strange move. Like they do that in baseball. Like the Astros recently drafted a player who knowingly he beats the shit out of his wife. He's an incredible closer, great arm, and he got
Just ask his wife.
yeah, great arm, and he got caught. He was suspended for like 100 and something games, and the Astros picked him up. And in their statement, opening was, "We have a zero tolerance for domestic violence." And
However,
it's like, you absolutely do not have a zero tolerance for domestic violence
Yeah.
because you drafted this player. Just say he has a hell of an arm. We're willing to look past that. But they put in this weird bullshit about you guys having morals, and it's like, you're lying. Everyone can see right through this.
also I think you know what, I kind of appreciated that because they're already on everybody hates the Astros, so they're like,
This was before the cheating scandal. This is
no,
like
I know,
a few
but
years ago.
But them being the most hated in baseball for the past few years, where they're they kind of just start this stretch where they're like, let's just lean into it
Let's embrace
and do
it.
all of our shit. Not like play the heel, but they're like, hey, if there's any shit, let's air it now. You know what I mean? So 3 years from now, we'd be like, it's a different front office. We got a different roster. It's not the same team. Blah blah blah. But yeah, that whole zero tolerance shit is pissing me off.
it's
It's
just
like
an
the double
insane
speak.
statement. It's like, just
Nike's a great example.
don't acknowledge it. Say you don't give a shit. Like, it's like liking R. Kelly, even though you know he's a a child rapist. It's like, that's what we do with artists. This guy beats his girlfriend, but in the ninth inning, when you're down 1 run, that's who you want on the mound. But you cannot say we have a zero tolerance because your draft is showing that you have tolerance for
100%.
women
It's ridiculous.
beaters. You have tolerance.
That was the thing with the NBA in China, where it was like when Black Lives Matter first started, or not first started, but when it kicked back up this year because Democrats needed the black vote. The NBA speaking out about racial injustice and obviously they're all black people. You know what I mean? That's their take, and I respect that and yada yada yada. But and then when it came to China, they're all like, nope, nothing's going on in China. It's like, well, you're standing up for people. Essentially, you're infringing on someone's ability to just go throughout their day unimpeded, right? And possibly being murdered. Being extra harassed because you're black is fucked up. Don't do that. Then they're like, well, what about all the concentration camps in China? And they're like, well, we can't speak ill of China because they buy a lot of jerseys.
of our fucking income. But yeah, they're
Or Disney did the same thing where they're like, this is unacceptable and we stand with, the movements of this year and yada yada. It's like, you shot Mulan literally with a concentration camp in the background. Where people are being forced to death, being worked to death so they can sell fucking lamps on Amazon.
Yeah, so these lobbyists are fighting back against this bill that's supposed to curb slave labor in China. And in their statement, they're saying, we do not support slave labor. However, they absolutely do. And because the Chinese have gotten really good at slave labor because
yeah.
they're not fucking with their own people now.
Arguably the best.
They're getting these Muslim immigrants to come in, and then they send them to school to reformat their brains to not believe in this Muslim shit. So they're like, hey, listen up. Muslims are bad. Muslim sucks. We're going to brainwash you. You shouldn't be a Muslim.
Muslim sucks.
And then they immediately just take them and throw them into this factory for slave labor.
Yeah.
And one thing that's fucked up is I realized
if you're a sporting goods company, you should not be for equality.
I only own two
Equality makes for terrible sports.
I only own 2 pairs of shoes, and one of them is Nike. My favorite soda is Coca-Cola, and I've got an iPhone. I've got a,
Yeah,
so
you're
I'm
implicit.
directly supporting
complicit.
them because that is a tough one. I remember getting a job at a health food store for the first time and realizing like all these horrible, like we had a chart of we sell all these products and they're all linked to the same 4 companies. It's still like, it's like Kellogg's, fucking Clorox, all that bullshit because, environmentalism or environmentally friendly products are mainstream now, so it makes sense for them to, financially do it. But it is cool because they're like, okay, free and clear detergent. This doesn't fuck with the environment after it's washed, but it's like, oh, they still make the normal stuff. They still sell the normal stuff.
I think it's ConAgra makes like 70% of stuff that's in grocery stores, from laundry detergent to toilet paper to bananas.
Because it would be exhausting to because we're all complicit in buying stuff from these horrible companies, and to actually I know from working at health food stores, I know people who have gone through their whole lives to not do that, and it's exhausting. Like the no waste people, like they go buy meat from the meat department and they bring their own Tupperware every time. And it's like you would have to dedicate so much. But I just how good the Chinese used to just put their own children for slave labor. And imagine you're an immigrant, you're trying to get out of your war-torn country, and you just go to China, and then they're like, "Oh, cool, they're going to send me to school."
Well, that's
so they just try to rewire their brain and then make them slaves.
Qatar did the same thing when they were going to host the World Cup. So basically, they got a bunch of Filipino and Indian immigrants because they just bid out international contracts. So if you're an Indian guy, you're like, I'm making whatever the equivalent of $20,000 a year doing hard construction labor. And they're like, but they put out these bids, so it's like if you come to Qatar and help build the stadiums, we'll give you $100,000 for a year's work. And then, but once they land, they just steal their passports. They're like, we're not gonna pay you, stupid.
Oh man.
Oh man. So for everybody saying America's the worst place for fucking whatever reason, go to fucking Qatar, you dumb cunts.
Yeah, all the companies have.
Words, please.
You can have 2. Fucking you. No pictures, you pinko bitch.
Exactly. All 3 of these companies have maintained that their products are free from slave labor. Nike in particular, and Nike and Apple have refuted the report that they use slave labor, and
Have you
they're
seen this?
simultaneously lobbying against this bill that is
It's so
going to
ridiculous.
help the people not be slaves.
We don't do slave labor. Yeah, you see those videos of people opening stuff from Amazon, and inside their product, there's a note written in Chinese, please help us. These people are literally trapped in this
Yeah,
factory.
and they're sending notes to some fucking fatty who's getting her AirPods delivered.
Some idiot, and he's like, oh, some fucking ching chong language, just getting his knockoff AirPods. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There
is a price
to
the
not even take the
convenience.
step to try and translate it. So you're just like, we're being held captive. We're slaves. Please send help. And you're just like, no.
This
You're like,
new
"Is
Jay-Z rips.
anything else in here? Yeah. This is quite a bumper. Is that what the kids are saying? This slaps.
Yeah, there are no free lunches.
Excuse me. Does this slap with my new headphones?
Grandma, you were wrong. The song does not slap.
Bro, Foxconn, the company that builds iPhones, they had to put nets around their building because people kept jumping off.
Yeah, there's no I can order something on Amazon and get it in 3 hours. You don't think there are going to be fucking pools of blood in this trail behind it?
Just leave a wake
Of course, there are going to
Chinese
be
babies.
bodies strewn across the floor. Lives changed forever because I want my
But that's
I want my miracle knife to come in less than a day.
That's-
You ever do that when you order and they're like, 1 day, 4 days, and you're like, fuck that. I'm not waiting
I'm not
four
waiting 4
days
days.
for this knife. I got to cut some vegetables.
Oh yeah, they're
babe."
like, we can deliver this tomorrow, but if you bundle it with your other items, we'll give you free shipping.
It's
And
like,
it's just like,
fuck you.
no, I need that hacky sack tonight.
Yeah, right now. I need. I bought a thing that shoots fire out of my wrists. All right, I need it now,
Bro, snakes in a can. I brought it's a can of peanuts. But when you open it, the snakes fly out. Classic gag. And it's also great about it is it's been gone for long enough that no one's suspicious.
You think so? Have they gotten better at what
Yes.
the product is?
It just
'Cause
looks like an
the one-
off-label.
The one I had, I remember it was a can of after dinner mint. So it's like I couldn't. I had the same thing with I had gum that would when you pulled it out, it was like a mousetrap. It would snap
Yes.
your finger.
Oh, those are great.
But I could never offer anyone gum because it would just like stick gum. You know, it was like the Coca-Cola cans in sitcoms where it
Yeah.
wasn't even close to looking
the
real.
chip bags that are clearly just made out of like cardboard paper.
I remember I had
Construction paper?
I had one prank. It was one of those just like a random anonymous candy, and it was supposed to taste like fish.
Yeah.
And I remember I wanted to lick it to see, and I put it in my mouth, and it just tasted like a normal candy. It wasn't fishy at all. Some of those pranks just didn't work. Like I had a bar of soap that was supposed to turn your hands black.
Yeah.
Didn't do it.
Shout
But
out Spencer's Gifts.
I had I was a big pranker. A lot of pranking.
We got my friend Cody got his dad. We went to Spencer's Gift in Bakersfield. I think that's the last time I've seen a Spencer's.
Oh, they're still at malls.
Are they?
Yeah.
I haven't been in a mall. The last mall I was in was like the
Go.
Glendale
It's
Galleria.
insane. Like if
No, but
you
like
go to
Glendale Mall is still popping because it's Armenians.
the Santa
So-
Anita Mall is fucking amazing. Because you go to like the Westminster Mall or the
Yeah.
Eagle Rock Mall, and it's like there's like a Chinese grocery store.
half of
in
it's just like
there.
yard sale.
Like there's
it's
literally
just a guy renting a what used to be a PacSun.
there's one that is literally it's one of my favorite things. Like knowing what the business used to be. Like you see like a tax place, and it's clear. It used to be a Wiener Schnitzel just because of the point, the
Yeah.
way the architecture. But there's a place in the Westminster Mall that was obviously a jewelry store.
Yeah.
It has all the jewelry cases. They didn't change any of it. It still has all the cases, but now what's shoved in there is like Pokemon backpacks. So it's like this glass case just filled with Pokemon backpacks and stuff. But malls, dude, go to the mall. The malls are insane now.
Dude, the malls in last time I was in Australia were awesome because they had such an influx over like 10 years of Chinese immigrants. They basically just took over like the malls.
Asians love the mall.
So you'd walk in and literally it was like from a Lethal Weapon movie. Like the stores, like their permanent sign was called like going out of business.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like acrylic signs that light up are called going out of business. It's not like a banner or something. It was
Yeah.
fucking insane.
Because most people don't go to the mall anymore, but Asians love shopping. Like the Santa Anita Mall has so many good restaurants in it.
Mm-hmm.
Has like super gourmet shit in the food court. It's an amazing mall, but it's filled with all these Asian stores for
Ugh.
sure. Like, or if you ever go to like there's a place like Asian people love going to Vegas for shopping. It's like the
Yeah.
husbands go gamble and the parents go shop. But there's this place called Carmel by the Sea, one of the fanciest
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
places I've ever been to in my life. I didn't stay there, but I stopped by on a road trip, and their main street is like all these adorable cottages with
Mm-hmm.
like just beautiful. But all the shops are like Versace and Gucci and all these like really fancy brands. And it's like the street just looks like any town, Main Street, USA, but it's just an outdoor shopping mall. It's really weird to explain, but Carmel is fucking nuts how beautiful it is.
When I imagine
And it's
that's
all slave labor, people.
it's all slaves. You know what? Let's keep this going. Speaking of concentration camps.
Uh-oh.
Germany, my friends. Germany
What are those kooky krauts up to?
is putting into effect a plan, which once again, you can't call it a plan, Germany. Germany can't have plans.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't have solutions. You can't
Permanent solution.
you can't even have a summer camp in Germany until 1997. Bro, fucking so this thing they're trying to put into action is for Germans who repeatedly break quarantine, they're going to send you to a camp. They're calling them detention centers, but hey, fool me once. Fool me once. I'm not going to the camp. So the German state of Saxony is this is where they're going like this is on the this might happen soon and this and that in this German state of Saxony, but they're like 4 of the other states are already doing it. So if you break COVID rules, because they took their lockdown serious. You know, Germans. I don't know if you've ever ridden in a Mercedes. Those guys know what they're doing.
They're serious people too.
They're very regimented. They're very and
Not
this is a
lot of-
generalization.
Not a
but-
lot of comics are coming from Germany. I feel like it's not.
or the comics you do
funniest
see.
people.
There's that guy that's been on Conan. His name's like Fjorn or something. But yeah, they're just not funny people.
They're disciplined. Like when you see something is made in Germany, your expectation is it's going to last forever.
Spax for hardware.
gonna-
I use Spax
It's
because
going to last a long time.
they're all hex heads, or star heads, but fucking, you know what I mean? I'll use a Torque because I know a nice German man, and the place was probably clean. You know what I mean? In the warehouse where they're making these screws, these drywall screws,
and they're paid.
they have like
It's
like
not slave labor.
an apron, and I'm just watching this guy like make individual screws. I'm imagining,
and they're
wearing,
respected.
like clogs.
They're respected in the community.
Yeah.
They're like,
Um,
they take pride in their craftsmanship.
So they're in the process of retrofitting an ex-juvenile detention center to send people who repeatedly break COVID rules. Because like us, they're like, hey, we're on lockdown. But for me, I just can't go to work. I can still go to Big Five or fucking Ross Dress for Less. I just can't go to work. Which is
Yeah.
like, I don't know what this fucking lockdown is for. If I can go to Chili's, I don't know what the fuck we're locking down.
Well, that's my logic. Has been the entire time is I can't respect the lockdown if I can still get frozen yogurt at
Exactly.
any time
Yeah.
of the day. Frozen yogurt never closed, never is
Nothing.
remained open.
Bro, if you work at
Those
Baskin
workers
Robbins
are
and you
heroes.
got deemed essential, finding out in March, you're like, oh, I might have, a little break. And they're like, no, it's Baskin Robbins. People are going to need ice cream.
Yeah, I can't.
You're basically a nurse or a firefighter.
I can't have a cheeseburger on a patio, but I can go inside and get froyo.
What a fucking joke. But anyway, they've had 2 million cases of coronavirus and 47,000 deaths. And apparently that's enough reason to start doing camps again. For me, Germany, that's going to be a big no-no. Come on. Detention centers. I love it too. But look. Even the article's trying to spin it, but even the clip art they use is just barbed wire
Just
fences.
razor wire. Yeah,
Just the boy in the striped pajamas.
They
like,
should have thought of different
don't break
consequences. Because
COVID.
I think in India, what they're doing, which is great, it actually covers what I was talking about, littering, is they just put you on like highway duty where it's like, okay, you break COVID, you got to do 16 hours of community service. We're going to make you pick up trash.
Perfectly
for 2 days.
acceptable.
That is beautiful.
That sounds like a
because
great solution.
Instead of just
And not a
detaining-
final solution.
Yeah, not a final one, not an absolute. Instead of detaining someone where they're not doing anything, it's like, yeah, put them to work, pick up trash.
Yeah, like China's doing with all those dirty Muslims.
Exactly. I mean, we all know Allah is not the truth, and Allah's not going to get you into heaven. They can't even figure out the virgin thing.
No.
If you're being incentivized by pussy,
Mm-hmm.
you're God.
You know what I should look? For some reason, when you just said that, because we have this weird Western idea of heaven, you know what I mean? Where they still use like there's like Greek columns in heaven. You know what I mean?
I saw something. Yeah, the streets are paved with gold. It's like, I don't give a shit about gold in heaven. Isn't
Yeah.
that the point?
That's why I want to go. Like Islam does seem cooler because I feel like they'd have cooler architecture. Those like cool like domey like sultany Aladdin buildings in heaven.
Beautiful.
And you fuck there. You still have you can still come in heaven because they're like American Christians are like you'll have no need.
Yeah, the
for
idea of heaven, it's
satisfaction.
like you don't want to drink beer because you're already drunk, or you wouldn't want to get high because you're already high, or you don't want pussy because it's like you have it already. I'm confused.
Yeah, what a silly place. But
just sounds
Muslim
boring.
heaven does seem tight, and
I
as
still
we've
want roller
covered,
coasters, and
for sure.
I want to be able to swim in a cool lake.
Yeah, so Muslim heaven way cooler. Seems like they party. Also, if you've ever seen like parties from Dubai, like those guys just go all out. They're driving Lamborghinis on like 2 wheels with like a tiger in the passenger seat.
Yeah, and they pay Beyonce to come perform. Like, yeah, those.
Oh yeah, those
are
dudes rule.
sick gigs.
So shout out to our Muslim brothers. Shout out to Turkmenistan. You guys know if you guys know any Turkmenistan dudes. If anybody from Turkmenistan wants to invite us out to pet with their tigers and go see that devil hole in their Lamborghini, then we're the only podcast that's been fucking having your back for the goddamn last 2 years.
We want you. We feel
Scratch
like,
our back, we scratch yours.
Yeah, we need you, and we would like you in our life.
I want you.
Well, I got one more quick one. This is actually breaking news because I'm only putting it in the pod because I saw it like 30 seconds before we even went on the air. It's a heavy hats off to a goddamn hero. I don't throw hero around a lot, but I guess I got to get my facts straight. I'll do an update on it later. But a woman in Russia, someone was robbing a gas station, and she didn't want them to get away, so she sucked the robber's dick until the cops showed up.
What a
They
fucking
found
legend.
them in the office, both like half naked. He's getting his dick sucked, and then the fool got arrested.
You gotta love that young pussy.
So I don't really have any more details to the story.
No,
It's
I can't
simple
wait
as
for the
that.
goddamn update. I have a quick one too. Speaking of criminals, this is a criminal with heart of gold. So that was a hats off for you. This is going to be a hats off
to
as
you,
well.
sir.
So the this dude in Beaverton, Oregon, hometown of Kyle Henson, who has been on the podcast before.
Big shout out.
What a garbage heap this town must be. So this lady ran into the grocery store, and she left her 2013 Honda Pilot running. So this dude just hops in and takes off. Mile down the road, he looks in the back seat. There's a goddamn 4-year-old just sitting there being like, "Hello, so how are you?" So this dude drives back to the grocery store. The mom's waiting out front, like she's got her whole cart full of groceries. She's like, "What's this guy doing in my car?" And he pulls up. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna leave your kid in the car?" So he's like, "It's hot
Giving
outside."
parenting advice. To
Yeah,
her.
this guy's stealing her car. So he stayed in the driver's seat and yelled at her to get her son out of the back seat, and then gave her one last final like, "You ought to be ashamed of yourself," and then peeled out in her car. So
We do like judging people here.
yeah. So
It's
I
like
don't know.
It's
A
like
thief
when,
with a heart of gold. You
yeah,
know
it's
what I
like
mean?
when I'm like-
He's a man of principles. You know, it's like mafiosos where they're like, "No, you chose this life. We're not going to take it out on your family, or like we don't kill innocent people. We kill people who fucked us over. Like they were in the game too."
I love that mindset though. Of like, I remember I was watching that
Honor
like,
amongst thieves.
I was
That's what I'm
watching
thinking of.
that show Alone, where the whole point of the show is they go survive basically in the Arctic all by themselves, and I'm like eating In-N-Out. I'm like eating In-N-Out at home, like judging them, being like, "Come on, obviously, if you want to kill the oxen, you got to do it with. You don't use that kind of bow and arrow, you dummy."
Bro, don't use that to sharpen your spear. You're gonna need the knife later for fucking skinning that fucking whatever. Yeah. Shout out to Alone.
That's a great
Shout out to
show.
this fucking car thief in Oregon. And that's it. That's
And
the Hats Off Gloves
if
Off
someone's
podcast.
robbing a gas station and you suck their dick, it works. It worked.
It worked,
He got arrested. He didn't get away. It worked.
ladies. I'm gonna go start robbing store. Next time I see a hot lady working at a gas station, I'll be like, "Stick 'em up."
Bang bang.
Hey, yeah, 1 pack of light blue American spirits, $12 on 7, and empty the till.
Your phone number.
Hey. That's hats off, gloves off. Follow us on social media at HogoPod. That's at Robot Spencer. That is at Mitchell Fill Up. Follow at Beam Jeremy production team. Don't follow any of the interns because they haven't earned it.
And don't forget to vote.
Oh yeah, go vote for.
Can't complain
Oh,
if you don't vote.
Are we going? When is? I heard this Joe Biden guy's not that great. When do we vote?
Oh, did we miss it? But Biden's in. Shit,
I-
I'm late.
I don't know. I don't watch
I wish
the news.
would have talked a little bit about Trump and Biden.
I don't know, man. I've been watching CNBC for 6 months, and they keep going like, "Hey, you got to vote," but I don't know. Does the guy come to your house and vote?
Yeah, they come over.
They got to make it easy for me. You know what I mean? I want to be a participating member in this in democracy, but can't make it hard. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to make an appointment. So if you guys know how to vote, it's January 28th. So voting day might have passed by the time you get back to us, but please let us know. And also HogoPod, that should be your destination for any comments, corrections, suggestions, requests for updates, or even good old fashioned hate mail.
Outfit ideas, if you don't
Outfit
like
ideas.
this. Or
Oh yeah, we did a real
If you
Dukes
want
of
a
Hazzard
little-
thing. I'm going blue. Oh, he's got snaps. I gotta unbutton them.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching Hats Off Gloves Off. Thanks for listening to Hats Off Gloves Off. If you are listening, go to YouTube and watch it. We're streaming now, baby. You even get bonus content. There's like 3 minutes up front where we're just talking before we play the intro
my
song.
nipples. I could squeeze chest zits on air. I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. We can pan the camera down and get my feet involved. Who knows? I'm buy a can of cat food and get crazy with it.
I'll whip my dick out if you want.
All right, hats off, gloves off. We love you, and bye.